Adding whole numbers, military time. Military time counts for 24 continuous hours. Additionally, military time always has 4 placeholders, and each of these placeholders will always have a number. For example, 7 a.m. is written like this below, with a 0700. From 1 a.m. to 12:59 p.m., standard time and military time look very similar. When converting these standard times to military times, simply start by working from right to left and entering the numbers into the placeholders. For example, let's look at a standard time of 8:35. Before we forget, we always go from left to right. So, example 1, 8:35 a.m. So, as we start from the right-hand side, we'll put the 5 in the first box, then the 3 in the next box, then the 8, and then we have to put always a number. So we will just put 0 since there isn't an actual value besides that. So, now 8:35 a.m. standard time is the same as 08:35 hours, which is military time. So let's look at another example. Example 2. Convert 10:55 a.m. to military time. So let's have our box with 4 placeholders. We're working from right to left. 5, 5, 0, 1. So, therefore, 10:55 a.m. standard time is the same as 1055 hours. Now, it gets a little bit more complicated when we get into the evening. In standard time, the clock starts over every 12 hours. However, in military time, the clock does not start over until midnight. This means that military time keeps counting, or adding forward for a total of 24 hours. A trick for changing standard time to military time when the standard time is 1 p.m. or later is to add 1200 to the standard time. So let's look at an example. Oh, and let's add the 1200 here. So, example 3. Ophelia is recording the exact moment a new baby was born. She sees the clock on the wall read 6:45 p.m. Since she needs to report the moment of birth in military time, she will convert 6:45 into military time format. And then she'll add 1200. So, first, let's add 1, 2, 0, 0 to the first box. And then we're going to make the 6:45 into military time. So we start with the 5, then we go to the 4, the 6, and 0. And so now that we've lined up the place values, we're going to work from right to left. And we're going to add. So, 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 1 plus 0 is 1. So, she will record that the baby was born at 18:45 hours. That is what needs to be written in the chart. Then, before we move any further, let's learn more about adding whole numbers. With this example, we are adding 816 plus 585. So, let's write 816 like that. And then directly below it, we're going to write 585. So we always line up the place values, and then we're going to start adding from right to left. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So we're going to write the 1 below, and as there's a tens place in that 11, we're going to carry it over into the tens place. So now we have 1 plus 8, which is 10. So we're going to put the 0 below, and essentially we have a whole 100 we need to account for, which we'll put in the hundreds place. So 1 plus 8 plus 5 is now 14. So our solution to this answer is 1,401. So in both of these examples, we lined up the numbers, ensuring that their place values were directly above one another. We then continued to add, ensuring that we carried any digits that are necessary. Now that we've covered the basics about adding whole numbers, let's apply rounding rules back to our military time scenarios. In both of these examples, we lined up the numbers, ensuring that their place values were directly above one another. We then continued to add, ensuring that we carried any digits that are necessary. So now that we've covered some basics about adding whole numbers, let's go back to our military time scenarios. Example 5. Penelope needs to record the exact time she gave medication to a patient. She gave it at 1:03 p.m. What time is this in military time? So, first we notice that this time is an afternoon. So that means we're going to be adding 1200 to the time. So, let's write down 1200. Next, we have 1:03. So let's put this below. So we put the 3 first, the 0, the 1, and then we're going to add that 0 because it's military time. So now that we've lined them up, let's start adding. So 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus 0 is 1. So now we have our answer. Penelope gave her medication at 13:03 hours. Or